Hello guys, thank you for joining us today. It's our first video talk, our CP talk, and we want to do more of these on our social media channels. And today we're very happy to have our first speaker, and it's Anna Kushnir from the International Rehabilitation Clinic from Ukraine. And she's one of our dear collaborators. She's a medical doctor there, and today she will tell us a bit more about her work there at the clinic, and we will discuss a bit about cerebral and some other topics. So really happy to introduce you to Anna. Anna, welcome, and thank you for joining us.
Hi, Olivia. Thank you for this great idea.
We kind of thought about talking a bit about how about your journey, how you got to be a medical doctor, how you got to do this profession, a bit more about you maybe.
It's my very first job after my medical residency, and I have been working in the field of childhood disability for almost 5 years. I always wanted to be a medical doctor because I had this passion to change something and to make people feel better. But at the university, I preferred to work with children. So finally, I became a pediatrician.
That's really nice. And I was thinking, if you have to think about your favorite things about this profession and working with children, what would be your favorite things, or what's, I don't know, something that stuck with you?
Our clinic, it's a tertiary care facility. We have patients with different neurological disorders, especially with cerebral palsy. Our patients mostly are children. And I want to tell that it's very encouraging to work with children because they notice beauty in very regular things. And it's great. And also they are very frank in what they feel and what they say to you. So now I still prefer working with children.
So can you tell us maybe more a bit your work there, I don't know, your sessions that you do with the kids, what you used for that, or how a session goes by normally for children with CP?
In our center, we provide different methods of medical rehabilitation, and including computer game therapy. It's really very interesting approach because it provides not only motor training, but also with motivation and fun, because sometimes a child needs rehabilitation during the entire life, and of course sometimes it's frustrating, and sometimes children get tired, but computer game training can fulfill them with energy and with motivation, really.
That's really good. I think probably, when I think about them having to do therapy and it's like probably a daily thing, it's probably much better when they do it with having some fun, some thrilling stuff. I mean, I think a lot of people like to play games, even adults, and even by themselves or in teams with, multiplayer with different players. And this, I think, also attracts them to the therapy, right? I mean, it makes them more attracted to doing the therapy if they have like this sort of motivation or this sort of excitement.
It's really that, and in the project Able Games, we have an idea of the multiplayer sentence for our children, and the system of the platform facilitate the participation and facilitate the social interaction between peers. And it really matters because we think if we talk about childhood onset disabilities, it's very challenging. So we hope that children can play and they can meet new friends, and I think that it will be a really great idea for them.
Mm-hmm. And actually, related to that, so I've read your pilot study. I know you did this pilot study on regarding balance games, and you kind of described the whole experience and how it led to positive results in using the games for the participants, how it led to trunk measurement control, how you used trunk measurement control to monitor the positive effects. And I think that's really interesting and related to what you said earlier, this sort of interaction and playing with other peers, it just helps them a lot in their process. So I know this paper will be soon published, right? Maybe can you tell us a bit more about that, or how you made it all happen with the groups of participants in the balance games study?
Yes, we have good news that the publishing is in progress. Finally, yes. And a little bit about the concept of the study. We had two groups. One group with children with cerebral palsy, GMFCS, Gross Motor Function Classification System, level 1, 2, and 3, and children with the same characteristics were in the control group. But the intervention was different. For the experimental group, they played with Able Games platform. And the control group played just commercial video games. And the study was conducted during 2 weeks, and the outcome measures were trunk control measurement scale that assesses the sitting balance and is created for children with cerebral palsy. Time up and go test, very popular test in physical therapy to assess the walking of the child. And we also used two diagnostic tools that embedded in the Able Games platform, a static balance test that resembles a classic stabilography, and dynamic balance test to assess the dynamic balance. And we also noticed that physical therapists liked this idea of embedded diagnostic tools because you can track changes at home or in a rehabilitation clinic. So, and about the results. Results revealed the improvement of the sitting balance and of dynamic balance after only 2 weeks. So we were really happy with these results because it's only 2 weeks, and we hope that if we have we have a longer period, we could also notice some changes.
That's amazing. In just 2 weeks, I think that's absolutely fantastic, actually. And by the way, I think it's fantastic the results you achieved in so little time. And I think it can be achieved so much more in, as you said, in a longer period of time. And related to this, I was wondering how you see the future of games for and in therapy, being used in therapy in the sessions, but also maybe at home for children with cerebral palsy and other disabilities. I mean, how do you think is going to be the future with this sort of video games incorporated within the whole treatment scheme, so to say?
I think that the COVID-19 situation really demonstrated that telerehabilitation is a future and has a great potential. And if we talk about serious gaming and about computer games, we can also use them at home. And regarding our system, it allows to interact with the physical therapist. So it's a really good approach for both motor training and participation of the child. So I think that the really big future is in the telerehabilitation and computer gaming. So I think that's it.
Yeah. Well, looking forward to further developments on the games, and we will try to show more of that in some of our next talks as well, and maybe even show the people following us some videos with how the children are playing the games, how they are interacting, and so on. And yeah, that takes me to kind of the final question of today's talk. And that would be, I think, if you can give me 3 words to describe, I don't know, it can be related to your profession or it can be related just like your vision on life. What would you say, like 3 words that are mostly important to you?
Thank you for a very interesting question. I think these words will be evidence-based, engagement, and encouraging.
That's nice, and I think you're doing quite a lot of encouraging for the children. So thank you for the work you're doing every day, and
for me also.
And yeah, that's very interesting. Engagement, evidence-based, and encouraging, because that can be applied in so many areas. Yeah, and engagement, I think, it does bring on the creation of new relationships and an exchange of ideas and feelings. So I think it's a really big word that has a lot of good things, positive things.
Yes, I think that if we create something for children, especially for children with disabilities, we should keep in mind that engagement is really crucial for families and for children.
That's true. It's key. And we are social beings, and we very much like to just be around people and, as you said, engage with them, interact, and socialize. Well, thank you very much. This is sort of our talk for today. Thank you for discussing a bit about the pilot study, for telling us a bit about how you got into this profession, about your work with the kids, and what you think about the future as well. And looking forward to our next talks and to our next topics. And for sure, we will delve much deeper as well into what you're doing at the International Rehabilitation Clinic there with your colleague as well, with Ole, and looking forward to that and to our next talks.
Thank you, Olivia, for these interesting questions, and I hope that future meetings will be even more interesting and provide us with new discoveries.
Yeah, thank you very much, and thank you for having the time to talk to us today, and have an amazing day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.